Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the 360 Sports Show. I am Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber, and we will be discussing the biggest stories from the past week in sports, along with your questions, comments, or concerns on any of the live stream platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And you can always email us, the360sportshow@gmail.com. Christian, how are you doing, and where do you want to start today? We have a lot of little things. We have some big things. We have breaking news. You tell me where you want to start. Where should we start tonight?
Coming off of the end of the NHL season last night, I think we start with Stanley Cup final.
All right, so we're going to start there with the NHL discussion and the Colorado Avalanche claiming the 2022 Stanley Cup. I would say Game 6. Game 6, kind of a slugfest compared to the up and down nature that we usually see a lot of between the Avs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. But Colorado, I give them credit for not finding a way to choke that game and having to play a Game 7, albeit back at home, but just facing all the stress of that. Their defense, I know it's about their offense, like all year long is their offense and their potency. Honestly, their defense is what impressed me the most about last night. Now, I know Tampa, third straight year in the final and wearing down, and they didn't look like they had the same amount of gas. But credit Colorado. Yeah, the offense carried them, but I thought their defense was phenomenal last night.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall it was more of a kind of a bottleneck game between the two teams. Which is not what we saw in 1-5, but also the magnitude of Game 6. It's either you win and you go home for Tampa, who got a 1-0 lead. Credit to them. They came out and scored early. But also credit to the Avs. They don't normally play a defensive-minded style and get good goaltending. They did last night. Not that they faced a ton of shots, but their defense was really good, especially when they got the lead. And even tied it. They kind of, like you said, it was kind of a slugfest the entire way. Now the last 5 or 6 minutes,
ratchet it up.
Yeah. But overall, I think the Avs were the better team. I think you saw that come to fruition here in the series. I'm surprised it went 6. I thought it was going to go 5, coming off of our conversation last week. But
yeah.
The Avs got close again to kind of choking away a series. Now, close is what it is. They won the cup. And they went from terrible a number of years ago to just being one of the best teams in the league. If not the best, which clearly now they are, but even just previous years, they should have been in this spot multiple years. But credit to them for getting to the mountaintop here.
Yeah, and we can discuss that in a bit, how they built it and all that sort of stuff, and tie that back in here locally to the Boston Bruins. But a couple of things out of last night. Like you said, the game was a slugfest. That last 5 minutes, though, was awesome. It always is. In a close hockey game, it always is. And, the excitement of, a 1-goal game, all it takes is one bounce. One weird bounce. There was the defensive breakdowns were far and few between for the Avs last night. But there was, coming out of, I think, a commercial, the Lightning drew up a set play that got Kucherov wide
Yeah.
open, and he hit a missile that it did get stopped. It was saved, and then it came back out, and then the puck. They just the Avs most of that later stage of the third period, they weren't even trying to carry the puck. They were just like, get it out.
Oh yeah, no, I mean once they got the lead, it was forget about it. It was get everything out of your own end and just sit in front of the net basically.
Now, what did you think? Obviously, there's not like a big. There's not. At least I haven't seen a whole bunch of controversy being made over it. That icing call with 25 seconds, or lack of an icing call with 25 seconds left, which essentially kind of really sealed it because now the Lightning had let up. Now you have to go end to end. They make a bad pass. The Avs dump it in. You kill time. Championship. Do you think that was the right call in that scenario?
I was fine with it. I thought it should have been waved off previously. Now, it's a judgment call from the referee there. He kind of waited a little bit too long in a spot like that. But also, let's not forget, like, just because the players are out there playing in a big moment doesn't mean referees can't make a mistake in a huge moment like that, too. Now, do I think he made a mistake? No, I think the call was actually right, in my opinion. He just waited so long that it made it worse for him, and obviously in Tampa, not great. But I didn't mind the call because I thought that puck was slowing down. Tampa's kind of, I think it was Hedman going back to get it.
It was.
And he was kind of, as guys do, kind of milk that call. So I didn't mind the non-icing there. I don't know.
Now, during that whole sequence, did you see, I think it was Kucherov was coming to the bench to get a new stick, and the lack of the icing call, obviously play still's going on. Their equipment manager wasn't ready, I guess, with the new stick, and he freaked out. Did you catch that live?
Wild. Yeah, he was, I would say he was not pleased with the whole situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Displeased.
Damn near lost his mind there. Yeah.
Chucked, I think, a glove and his stick at the equipment manager.
Glove. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, at that point, once that icing call, was a non-icing, I felt like, oh, it's over. For them to get back down, the way they were having so much trouble getting through center ice, I was like, they're not going to get another shot away here.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I mean, credit the Avalanche for hanging on. I mean, it sounds crazy to say, like, they were the better team, but for a team that had never been past the first round, like any of that group, I think maybe once they got past the first round, the last, had they got, was this the?
I don't know about that. Yeah,
I don't know, but I mean, for a team that has not experienced success, it's been a lot of sucking, and then this young, there's not even young, but like this new core, not even really like making any runs. It was one and done. To get to these big moments and then to come through, I doubted that they had it in them all year. I worried even up 3-1, and then they went to Colorado and Tampa won that in Game 5. I said, you were ready for a party. It's not going to be easy. But the Lightning, I mean, hey, I said it to you last night. The crown gets heavy. Year after year, getting everybody's best shot. Eventually, someone rises to the task. You start to tail off a little bit. Guys get a little older. 3 years in a row. I mean, I saw some frustration, especially from, oh my God, brain fart on goalie. Wow, I can't believe myself right now. Who's Tampa's goalie? Why am I having Vasilevsky? Did you see him coming to the tunnel? Like, on the ice, they kind of seemed like, hey, you know what? Our third straight trip, it is what it is.
No, he was
fuming. So there's still some fire there for some guys, but for the most part, it was like those guys must be so gassed. I mean, you had the COVID short year, then another quick year, then this, another long run. It is the windows are different in the NHL. Are we going to see Tampa take a step back going forward, or are they going to be right back next year?
I don't know about being in another cup final. I think eventually someone's going to take over on that side of things. But, the Western Conference, I think you're talking the Avs could be another team that repeats. I think they're primed for another run. But Tampa, I mean, I said it this year. I didn't think they would get this far, and they did. But you're talking about 4 years in a row to get to the cup final. Never mind be within 2 games of winning it again. I'll take my chance with another team. I just think someone else is going to come through here. Guys fall off the roster. Eventually, Tampa's going to have to let some guys go here. I just don't understand how
They're all going to be hurt to start the
keep
year.
doing this. Yeah. And they'll get some other pieces in, but I think they'll be in the conversation. I can't imagine they'd get back here again 4 years in a row.
So you kind of started there, but same question. Can the Avs get back? Will they repeat?
Will they repeat? That's a tough question. It's really tough to do in any sport, never mind the NHL. But they're like the Western Conference Tampa. I mean, they're prime there. They have a couple of young pieces that will be there for a while. And then their surrounding cast is still young. They have some older guys like Eric Johnson and guys like that, but overall, they're kind of moving into that prime area, and they've been building for a long time. I mean, they should have been in this spot probably a year ago, maybe two. They've been kind of building here, so they'll be in the conversation in the West, no doubt about it. Will they be wire to wire the best team again? I find that hard to believe. There's a little bit of a hangover, but they'll be in. They're in a good spot to have a deep run here for a number of years.
Yeah, I do have a few notes from the game and last night, post game things, but we're gonna save those. Maybe those might come up in hot or not, so we'll save those for now. I don't think they're gonna get back next year, only because I think there's gonna be a hangover. They strike me as a cup hangover team that could start slow and just not have the same hunger and energy that I think a lot of guys played with this year. So will they be a bad team? No. I don't see them getting back to the Cup final next year. But they certainly have the talent to do it. It all comes down to mindset, usually a lot of times, to repeat and keep that fire burning. You mentioned how, they've been building for a few years now, and I wanted to try and compare and think about locally here with the Boston Bruins. You look at teams like Tampa, and you look at Colorado, and you say, that's what you want. That's the best version of what a modern NHL team looks like. But you look at how Colorado did it, and I don't think it's possible, Christian, for the Boston Bruins to build a team that way, which was suck, top pick, on top of not even knowing if they have the right people in place to make those selections with top picks. But I almost feel like, one, organizationally, they won't want it, and the city won't stand for it if the team sucks that much, even if 10 years down the road you get a cup. People stop coming to games. People will stop buying NESN if the team is in the lottery 3-4 years in a row. I mean, people love hockey, but they're not going to pay cable to watch hockey or pay $100 to go to a game just because it's hockey. It won't happen. So I don't think the Bruins could ever build it like that with top draft talent, because they're never going to be allowed to suck that much. And they have idiots making the picks to begin with anyways.
Well, yeah, that's where I would go first, is Don Sweeney, who got a multi-year extension, which we can get to. But I don't believe they can either, just because, number one, they have some young pieces here that are going to keep them in a little bit of the mix. They're not going to be the bottom of the league. I just don't believe they'll go that far. I think the Jacobs care enough to get a playoff ticket outside of that, a playoff home game outside of that, whatever. But and then you go to the drafting. I mean, the drafting has just been so poor. You look at Colorado, it's Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon. Those are two premier players that helped them win the Cup. Who do you have for the Bruins? I guess you're looking at McAvoy, Pasternak, but the surrounding crowd that the Avs have, the Lightning have, these teams that draft players that can play lines 2 to 4, the Bruins never have had that. They have guys that play the fourth line.
Yeah. But
they're drafting in the first round to play the fourth line.
And drafting at the top of the first round.
Exactly, yeah.
Being in the top 5 for 7 years in a row. That's never going to happen in Boston, in any sport. It's just ownership is never going to put up for that, and the fans will never put up with it. So I don't really know. This is like the rabbit hole we can go down, which is how do the Bruins fix things? Colin in the comment section. Once again, the Bruins front office proved that they are dumb as nails. You hit the nail on. You hit the Don Sweeney on the head. If you're watching last night and you're a Boston Bruins fan, I think you have to come to the realization that your team might not ever be that good for a while because of the missed draft capital. I mean, you look at when you won in 2011, you said, "Oh, look at all these guys. You got, Chara's in his prime, and you got Marchand, who's a rookie, and Lucic and Krejci and Bergeron. These guys were all so young. Nathan Horton obviously gets hurt, but he's coming back. You got Tyler Seguin. You had all these pieces.
Botched that one.
And you got to another cup quickly in 2013, and then 2012 and 2014 are huge disappointments. You kind of tried to load up your roster, and then piece after piece after piece kept kind of falling away, and you never really restocked enough of the pipeline of the team to supplement guys getting old. And I think it will take the team getting suckbag old and bad and terrible for them to ever rebuild it, just because it has to be through the draft. It's the only way I think they can do it.
This is why I always go back to it's really hard not to go back to the draft of, what was it, 2015, I think, when you had 3 picks in the middle of the first round. I mean, the Avs are not they had top picks, like Makar was 4 and McKinnon was up there as well, but outside of that, it's guys like Rantanen, who's at number 10 or in that sweet spot of the middle of the first round, number 16, 17. The Bruins drafting in the middle of the first round has just been so dreadful that, yeah, there's no way. Like, even if they drafted number 2 through 6, are they going to pick the right guys? I just don't have faith that they will.
So does it surprise you then that Bergeron wanted back in for at least one more year, given the construction of this team and not knowing who the coach is going to be, and, that the team probably isn't going to win a cup next year?
Yeah. It's a little bit surprising because I would assume he's coming back for one more run, but you look at the beginning of the season, and also I don't know if this is like 100%. I don't think it's 100% confirmed yet that he's back. Now, obviously, it's pretty much set in stone, but have no contract details. No, I assume it's a 1-year deal. But outside of that, he's probably going to go year to year. And if I'm looking at the roster this year, I just unless he knows there's some move, maybe the new coach coming in will help and give him a kick in the butt here early on. You're without McAvoy, Grzelcyk, Marchand. Who am I forgetting? They're without a number of top
everyone
and guys here in the early part of the season. So if I'm Bergeron, I think part of it is he wants to play his entire career here. I think he could easily jump ship and go play somewhere that has a chance to win this year. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But he wants to play here his entire career, which, credit to him. I mean, that it is what it is. And they'll have him back because why? They have no plan behind him. I mean,
that's what I was going to say. Ideally, Bergeron at this point in his career is a very, very good number 2 center on a championship team. He can still dominate on a second line.
Sure.
I think he's a first line center on any team in the league, but I think his ideal kind of place right now with his age and everything, and the wear and tear, gosh, on that guy, let him play number 2 center. Behind
play penalty kill, play second line center. Absolutely.
Exactly. And so now if you're Boston, he's your number 1 center.
Mm-hmm.
You have nobody behind him. There's nobody who's like, hey, you know what? They've been developing. I think they're going to make a huge jump. Let's put them at the number 1 center. Let Bergeron play number 2. No, whoever you put else, there's nobody else to put at number 1 that's better than him. Not even close.
No, not even close.
On the Bruins roster. So then it kind of comes down to too, if you want to develop young guys, whether you swing for acquiring prospects from other teams, or you draft somebody to be a prospect, those guys need time too. So how do the Bruins even get better this year? Say you draft guys. Say you sign some young guys. Or you get guys who are reclamation projects. Prospects from other teams. Maybe they're kind of down on somebody or they want to change the scene. Are you going to be playing all these young guys? The team's probably not going to start all that well, given the injuries and everything.
We're gonna find out
If
real
I was
quick.
Bergeron, I would have done what Tuca did and just been like, I'm going to take my time and I'll be ready in March,
Yeah, see where the team's at.
late February.
We're gonna find out real quick if firing the coach is gonna make any difference on the young guys. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, I have some other NHL related news. And you know what? It's a little early in the show, but how about we just get right to it? Because I think we have a lot of things that are going to tie into this. So we're going to do hot and not right now.
It's time for Hot.
You want to talk about hot? Please stop doing that.
Doing what?
Continue. Go ahead.
And Not.
God, is he a moron? Oh my God, he doesn't shut up.
It's so stupid.
Stupid decisions.
Dum-dums. The naughtiest knot of the year.
Oof. Suck fest. Suck sauce.
On the 360 Sports Show.
All right, Christian. Hot and not, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, the pluses, and the minuses. Started off, what was hot for you this past week?
Well, I'll start with going with the Conn Smythe winner in Cale Makar. I think he was just phenomenal. I thought the game ended fittingly. He's in the offensive end of his own in Tampa's defensive end to make the final play to pin that puck in deep. And for him to win a Conn Smythe, I mean, I thought he was just pretty much excellent all year long, but specifically throughout the postseason, I think he's just a ridiculous player, both offensively and defensively. He's up there with Hedman in 1 and 2 in defensemen.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say exactly. You said fitting, and like that was part of that. Like I thought the game was once there was that no icing call.
Yeah.
I thought the game was already over, but then the Lightning try to make a pass up the ice. The Avs dump it back in, and Makar just goes in. It's like just like wily veteran type stuff. Just pin the puck, tick 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 tick. Time away. Just great stuff. It was very fitting.
Wily veteran at 23 years old.
I know.
Yeah, ridiculous. And then overall, just the Stanley Cup is probably the best trophy in sports. I think it's just ridiculous. You just see the thing. There's just some aura about it. Now, Ray Ferraro was going off about it last night, which is what it is. But overall, I think the trophy is there's nothing like the actual Stanley Cup trophy, and some good, some bad with the trophy. But
I was gonna say the trophy may be making an appearance on the not list this week, and we could talk about that.
But it's not the trophy's fault.
It is not the trophy's fault. So I actually had a few on the hot list this week. So actually I have to pull up videos for these. So we will tweet these out at 360 Sports Show. We will put these on the hot list on the Twitter account for our podcast listeners who want to go back and find these things and watch. But for our live viewers, I will pull up this video here. Alex Ovechkin is playing. He's enjoying the offseason. Signed. I don't know if he's playing for a 1 day.
Yeah, it was a 1 day. Yeah.
1 day contract to play in like a Russian football league, and it looks just about as hysterical as you can imagine. He scores a goal. I'll effort that here in a minute. Let me get rid of our banner here. So for people watching, for those of you watching live, this is Ovechkin. Just the size difference. I mean, this is not him playing against youth guys. I mean, I didn't realize how big,
your size of
how
Ovechkin.
big he is, and he's just trucking people. He's just running. Look at that. He's just running to and through people. This poor guy in the black jersey, like, just not ready. He looks, and like the gray hair too. I mean, he just looks like he's a guy who's like, just He's that guy who's at the Y who's like, oh, this 50-year-old guy wants to jump in. He's probably not that good, but you don't know that he's like an ex-NBA player, right? You know, this is what this looks like. And he scores, too.
He looks like a hockey player on the field.
Like, exactly. So let me find he scores, too. So we'll pull that up. Here, let's go. So this is him. I think where is he? I think he's right here. I think he's right in the middle there. Yeah, he's hanging out top of the box, left side. Drop it back to Ovechkin, the lefty, boom, goal. And he's going nuts. Yeah. Give me the missing front teeth, Ovi. What, like, I had no, I mean, now, hockey guys, a lot of them play soccer, it's a warm-up thing. You see soccer balls all over hockey rinks. Guys will, be passing the ball back and forth, and it's a good warm-up exercise. I mean, I did not think that Alexander Ovechkin could step onto a, professional soccer pitch, doesn't matter what country it's in, and be running through people and scoring goals. Like,
this is a pretty good shot, too.
Yeah.
That's a legit shot.
With the left foot. He's a left shot, right? I'm trying to remember.
He's a right shot.
He's a right shot. So that's even more impressive. Clearly he's a left shot in soccer.
On ice, he's a right shot.
Yeah.
On the pitch, I don't know.
And look at that. The missing front tooth. It just makes it perfect.
He looks like my dad beating me up on like the driveway basketball pickup, It's just like, it's wild.
How old do you think Ovechkin is? I know you probably have a good idea, but if you were just looking at this man right here, if you were
46.
46? Yeah, subtract 10.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's like 36. Yeah,
Like,
36.
what? Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Not exactly Tom Brady out there.
No. But unbelievable. I thought that was absolutely awesome. I did have one other hot that I want to find real quick. The Lightning were implemented. So all this is like the new thing now. I don't the TD Garden gets booked out way too much. So I don't think they've done this yet for Bruins or for the Celtics. And plus, this is, I don't know. I feel like around here it's just not a thing. But all these other places do these watch parties, right? You go to the arena and like watch the game with other fans up on the big screen, which I don't know. I'm not down for that. That's not like they pay too. It's cheaper than a game, but like just watch the game at home. The Lightning though used this new tracking software, and they were putting the game up on the screen, but then they had like a projected overview of everything happening on the ice. So like you can see everything on the ice. The guys, this is just so cool. Like it's making me think of like, the old school, like the tabletop hockey.
It looks like NHL 98 or something.
Yeah. Like that's awesome. Like I think that adds some sort of value. Now I don't know if you're gonna like is it better? Is it distracting? Did it add to the experience? Either way, I think that's really cool. I mean, and we're looking at what in like 15 years will actually just be a hologram of the game that will be projected onto the surface, and then 50 years from now we'll just be watching the game hologram projected in our own living rooms. We plug into the Matrix to go to the game. But I thought this was really cool. I don't know if you had seen this, Christian.
Yeah, I had seen it. This was what, game 3? Was it 3 and 4? I know it was 4 at least, but
I think it was games 3 and 4.
Yeah, pretty cool. I don't see myself going to something like this for it, but like seeing it, on Twitter or social media or wherever, it is pretty cool. And I mean, I think it adds something. You can watch it on the big screen, and then it's kind of like scuffed NHL 98.
Yeah. So, anywho, I just thought that was really cool. I like innovation, so I'm going to highlight those. All right, enough of the good stuff. What's on your not list this week?
Don Sweeney being hired for a multi-year deal. I mean, he was on it like a few weeks ago, and now it's just, yeah. Once again, they went right to the coach and signed the GM, who has not put any talent in front of the coach for a multi-year deal. Not that he can't get fired or something like that, but I just think it's absolute nonsense that this guy is getting rewarded for not putting a good enough team on the ice, especially through the draft.
I wanted to see, do we have any details of this deal? Like, I feel like that would just make it even more disgusting, but
The NHL don't usually release it. It's just a multi-year.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's not even any dirt anywhere. Yeah, I mean, again, like we said, the only way for this team to improve is through the draft, and you're signing one of the worst drafting GMs in the last 5 years to a multi-year extension. Awesome. So we mentioned how the Stanley Cup was going to make another appearance here on the show. So this was during the celebrating last night. Is it Nicholas Aubkubel? I believe is how you pronounce his name. Is coming to celebrate. We'll bring this video up. I think everybody should be able to see this. So he's skating over with the trophy. And whoop, there we go. Takes a tumble, and the trophy, which has taken punishment over the years, they go through all this trouble. They show the guys, with the white gloves and taking it out of the special case and all the care that's put into the trophy. And you can see, already big old dent.
This has got to be the fastest it's ever been dented.
100%. I mean, it's one of those things, like, they talk about it. They talk about it every single year. When someone's going to lift the trophy, like, it's heavier than you think, and da-da-da, and all this stuff, and guys lifting it up. And you always, like, are waiting for one guy to, fumble it and drop it. Which at first, because I missed that just, 5 seconds of him slipping live. And I see, trophy, dinged up, so-and-so fumbled it. And I was thinking it was going to be in the celebration line, not just casually skating over to be in the group picture and just taking a header and already dinging the trophy. But
hey, they're breaking records everywhere. You might as well.
Yeah. So we'll play that just once again. Yep. Oh, man, what did he hit, too? The line monster.
He just lost an edge.
That made me think too. Speaking of losing an edge, I was wondering, did he lose a blade? How crazy was that last night? Who was it who lost the blade of their skate? Was it for the Avalanche? Right, McKinnon was
the Avalanche.
was dragging somebody off. I've never seen it. It was a Kucherov slap shot went off the skate blade and just flung the blade away. Now the Avs, honestly, they had 6 men out there too after that sequence, and it didn't get called, which I'm glad. I mean, maybe I depending on how flagrant a penalty is, but the last 5 minutes, the last thing I wanted to see was a power play for the Lightning there. I thought the reffing was pretty good, but I had never seen that before. The puck taking the blade straight off that.
Yeah, I mean it is pretty wild, and to see them get away with I thought the Tampa did a little too much complaining about the too many men in the ice, but especially last night, I don't want that called anyway.
Agree. No, I didn't want to see it. You don't want to see it. So that was a knot. The other knot, again, it's a lot of hockey here. We're milking everything we can out of hockey now because it's all we have left as far as live action. Austin Matthews. Benjamin Franklin himself. I don't know how many people even noticed this, but the dude's haircut, I gotta try and find this exact video because the other pictures of it don't look that bad. I gotta try and find this video. I might have to go I might have to like somehow go to Instagram. You have to. Well, maybe we'll put it out to our Instagram. I don't know if I can show it live right now, but the hairline looked bad. Somebody needs to go see Dr. Robert Leonard. That thing needed some attention. And
So
while
comment section, let them know.
and I was gonna say, while the hairline was a knot, the comment section was hot. Talk about, oh my god, ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. Have you found it, Christian? I'm trying to find a good one, but I can't. Oh my god, this is fun. Austin Matthews with the Hart Trophy, and it's Ron Jeremy.
I don't have the video other than the one that I saw originally.
Let me go see if I can. Let's try and effort this here, because you deserve. The listeners deserve it. Da, 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 da. Really? That's what it pulls up for NHL. Here we go. I'm getting closer to the video. Hey, credit to their social media guy. There's like 30 posts, all literally just from last night. That's a lot of content. All right, I could say social media guy. It's team of people. Man, how far back was this thing? Come on, Austin Matthews, where are you? Where are you? Do you have any more knots, Christian, while I'm searching for this really bad video of Austin Matthews? Got it.
Not really. I only had the one this week. Other than this could have been.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Found it. Like that looks so much worse than it did in all the other pictures. But the comment section, I mean, a lot of like, congrats. It's like he was trying to put on half a wig cap. Buddy's hairline might be worse than mine. Why does he look like Lord Farquaad? Got that Lego man haircut going. Ben Franklin. Looks like he should be on the $5 bill. Looks like Shakespeare. At least McDavid doesn't look like a 16th century servant. Could land an airplane on that forehead. Like, oh my god, the comment section.
It's brutal. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like pouring his heart out here, like, thanking people and all this other stuff and hard work and dedication and what it means. Kingpin Comb Over is coming in for next.
I don't know what they did to this angle. Everything else looked fine to me. It was like this and one other shot.
Yeah. The other ones, yeah. So
They did him dirty in this one. I don't know.
Really bad. Because then here I can switch. Let's pull up real quick. Whoops. There I go. Like this is what it looked like. Like that doesn't look that bad. Like, yeah, it's going back, but like it just looks better. It's still, he's still kind of getting the Peyton Manning on there, but like that other one, that video, the angle, the lighting, whatever it was, no bueno. So, I had to put that. That one is like lukewarm, like it's not his fault, and but the comment section, so brutal.
Guy's teeing off. Jeez.
I mean, that was easy though. That's the low hanging fruit, right there. So, Christian, any other notes or thoughts on the NHL season? Anything related to hockey? Seeing as how their season now is come to a complete close, and it's gonna be a little bit before we get any more big hockey news, I suspect.
Yeah. Nothing for me other than that. I'm very sad now that baseball is all we have.
It's not though. Because the NBA draft happened last week. Free agency is coming this weekend.
Boring.
We can get ourselves through until football training camp, which is only 3.5 weeks away.
Oh, NBA draft was on?
Hey, you may have zero thoughts on this. Who do you
Can confirm? I do have zero.
Zero thoughts? So you don't have you're not informed enough to speak on who won or lost the NBA draft last week.
I'm not doing this again. I take the bait on this every year, and then us Aaron Neesmith say we're gonna win the draft, and then everybody sucks. So other than the top 3 picks, you can have at it.
Yeah. Well, I thought that it was interesting that what everybody thought was going to be the consensus order ended up not being the consensus order. So, I mean, honestly, your winners from the draft, the Pistons, who get Ivy and they swing a trade. I mean, the Pistons are going to be. Now, it all comes down to coaching and those players buying in, but in terms of a young team that has a lot of talent, the Pistons are one of those teams I see as being one of those like, oh, they were the 12 seed this year, but they could suddenly be like a 4 or 5 seed this coming year, with their young guys. The Thunder, obviously, I mean, who knows what Chet Holmgren is going to be? He was like one of these like, jewels of the draft. But he could end up just being tall and not good at anything else in the NBA. I kind of am a little. I'm always suspect of those guys who are just basically, they're good in college because of their size.
Porzingis again.
Yeah, and don't really develop. At least Porzingis is playing professionally overseas. Like, these other guys.
He's got a little game though.
He does.
He's got some athleticism to him that maybe Porzingis doesn't.
But like, wouldn't you want to like see that guy spend like 2 years maybe at least in college? But that doesn't happen anymore. So the thing is, at least he's going to the Thunder, who are gonna try and suck again, because they want to have a top pick for next year. So luckily there's gonna be no pressure on him to win. But again, they get their guy, and the Magic as well, for deciding. Oh my God, I gotta look at this. For basically, going after Banchero instead of Smith at the top of the draft, which kind of shook things up initially. So we'll see. Your losers are pretty easy. Basically, 2 teams from California: the Lakers and the Kings. The Kings, who had to pass on Ivy because he basically said, "Yeah, I don't think I'd want to play there." And they've also passed on tons of guys in the past. At some point, like, you have to just draft talent. They may say they don't want to play there, but at least put that talent on your team and see if you can make it work. And then if they don't really want to stay there, well, then, whatever. But you can't just, like, keep not putting talent. In the NBA, it comes down to talent. So the Kings screwing things up for themselves again, and the Lakers, who, like, had to trade to get into the second round because they had no draft picks, and they picked like a developmental shooter. And so the Lakers are going to be kind of like, you got Russell Westbrook, who they want to get out. Anthony Davis, who knows if he'll play a full season, and Kyrie Irving trade rumors. Just what any team that wants to try and improve wants to hear. So I dubbed the Lakers
Kyrie's opting in though, so
losers. So that was the breaking news. So now we've kind of gone like, ooh. We started with the NHL, and we're gonna go to the breaking news, which is that Kyrie Irving has opted in to his player option. Surprise, surprise. There was Lakers fans who thought, hey, he'll opt out and he'll come take the mid-level exception. He'll take $6 million to come play for LA. No chance. This guy saw that nobody wants to trade for him. Nobody wants to sign him if he's on the open market, unless it's for literal pennies on the dollar. And so, you know what? Opting into what? A $37 million guaranteed part of a contract? Pretty good. Now, I don't know if that precludes him from being moved during free agency here still. Because like a sign and trade, I think would have been the only way he could have gone to LA without them sending Westbrook back. And Lord knows the Nets want to do whatever they can to keep Kevin Durant in town. I don't know if trading Kyrie for Russell Westbrook is going to make him happy. $36 million. And there was debate. Like, there was a rift within the organization. It just boggles my mind. You have, it was a tough choice to opt in to $37 million.
yeah,
Super
must be
tough.
rough to play 40 games and opt into millions of dollars.
Must be very rough. Colin in the comment section, Kyrie is always a good default. Not. Yeah, we've kind of had to go away from that because it was just too easy to go there week after week after week after week after week. Can you remember another player who was as good as he is? Let's call him top 10 talent in the NBA. Top 5 at his position. Not injured. And basically no team wants to come within 10 feet of the guy. I can't think of another example of a player like that in the NBA. Antonio Brown comes to mind in the NFL. Maybe Terrell Owens, right? Kind of. So I think Ndamukong Suh kind of flirted, came close, and then kind of quietly turned things around for himself. But in the NBA, like when it's about the stars, I can't think of any other player. You know, Ron Artest / Meta World Peace, but he's not the same guy as Kyrie Irving. He was not on the same level. Rodman maybe a little bit, but that was more at the end when like those guys were washed. Like for a guy to basically like be in the prime of his career, be a champion, be a top 10 talent, one of the best players at your given position, and no team would want to sign you.
Well, I just like
where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go after next year when his contract's up?
How's it gonna even work this year? I just don't know how you come back and they're automatically just gonna win a title because they're back. Like, well, Ben Simmons is gonna play. Like, I don't know.
But it's bizarre.
James Harden move put them so far behind. It's not even about Kyrie. The James Harden move was so dumb by the Nets. That was the worst move they could have done. Now, at the time, there was potential that it could work, and maybe if they're all together playing at the same time, maybe it did. But you knew one of those guys was. This is what happens with stars. One of those guys is going to get upset, or one of those guys is not going to play, and there you go. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, somebody has to be third fiddle, and it's all about the matchup. Like, okay, you have a ball dominant point guard, James Harden. Okay, Kevin Durant can handle the ball, but he's fine moving off the ball, and he likes to play kind of out of the mid post. Like, those are two guys that could work together. Kyrie Irving's not going to be like, okay, Kyrie, go space the floor, go stand on the wing, and wait for James or Kevin to pass it to you. No, I ain't going to fly with that dude. Not for 1 second. So, just crazy. And we'll see what happens with the Kyrie saga as it continues to unfold. Free agency starts on the 1st at midnight, I believe. That's usually when it always starts. Or that's when, like, the moratorium is lifted and teams can start tampering. For real, legal tampering.
They're not already doing that at the All-Star game in the middle of the season.
So the legal tampering period, what a oxymoron that is coming soon here for the NBA. You put something down, Christian, and I do want to hit on it. You just put Jaylen Brown, which has become a trending thing in the last day because on Twitter he liked a tweet of some rando Celtics fan saying that Jaylen Brown is disrespected by Celtics fans, or Celtics fans are disrespectful to Jaylen Brown, one way or the other. Basically, that's what it boils down to. And Jaylen Brown himself liked the tweet. And now everybody is reading into it, and everybody is also coming to the defense of Jaylen Brown by saying, like, dude, don't listen to, like, the 1% of fans who are just trolls and idiots. Plus, Twitter is not the best place to be like if you're looking for like a barometer of how people feel about you
on Twitter for anything.
Do you agree with the statement though of I won't even name the person. We don't need to like keep giving them all this credit for just saying something dumb. Do you agree that Jaylen Brown is disrespected by Celtics fans? Meaning like a majority, like that he's disrespected.
Disrespected is kind of like a weird word. I would say he doesn't get enough respect. So I guess if you want to equate that, then sure, yeah, I think he is a little bit. I think
wouldn't that be underrated, or is by underrating him disrespectful?
Maybe it goes hand in hand. Maybe I'm just mincing words too much. I don't know. I would say that. I just don't like To me, it feels like people put him like third or fourth fiddle, and I think he's like 1A with Tatum. And especially after this postseason run, I don't know how you can sit here and say like, oh well, at least we have Tatum going forward, and not mention Jaylen Brown in the same breath, because I thought Jaylen Brown was your best player throughout the postseason consistently, and even in the finals as well. He showed up pretty much every game. So I think there is a little bit of that where people love Marcus Smart, and he had a great year, but Jaylen Brown is a better player than Marcus Smart. I don't think I'm breaking
You're not
the
wrong.
end here saying that. I feel like Jaylen Brown is a superstar in the league that many teams would like to have at this stage of where their organizations are at. Jaylen Brown's a guy you would trade for, you want on your team. You would want to come play with you. So I do think there is something to that. Now, I do think reading Twitter is just like it's you'll find anything on there. So I don't know how I could put too much emphasis on that, or how much emphasis to put on it. But I do think if I'm feeling that as a fan myself, that a lot of people, I feel like, put Marcus Smart above him or whatever in the totem, like he's somehow not as important as the other guys. I just think that's wrong. I just think we just witnessed what Jaylen Brown can be.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think either that he. I don't think that Marcus Smart is above him. And guess what? Even if you want to say, even if you want to acknowledge it and say, you know what, but on the hierarchy of the team, it's Tatum, Smart, then Brown. Guess what? Guess who's in trade talks all the time? Guess who last week people were trying to ship out of town right as soon as the finals over? Marcus Smart. So if just for Jaylen Brown, I want to say this. I don't want to trade you. I would say 95%. There's 5% of a fan base that just is never happy and will want. They could have won the title and you could have been MVP, which I think he probably would have been if they had won, because Tatum was just not having a good series at all. And if they found a way to win, it would have been Jaylen Brown who would have been MVP. That all could have happened. And guess what? People this week would still be saying, you know what? We could trade Jaylen Brown to get Kevin Durant. Like, it's just, you have to tune that noise out. Unless you are, and maybe he wants to be treated like he's Jason Tatum, but he's not Jason Tatum. I think he's very close. He's a superstar, but he is not, he's going to be a guy that's just going to be hyper consistent. He's going to give you like a very steady amount of defense and rebounding and 20 to 27 points
He's
a
an
night.
all-star caliber player, though.
All-star, but I don't think he's ever going to have like multiple 50-point games in a season. That Jason Tatum has that in him. Like, we've seen it.
Sure, but I just don't think, like, when you're looking at Jason Tatum, I think Jason Tatum has a higher ceiling for sure, and he's first team All-NBA. But I'm just saying, Jaylen Brown, it's not like Jaylen Brown is just like so beneath him.
Oh, no. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that, like, understand that, like, the reason Tatum, and there are people, I heard calls today on radio, all sides of the aisles, you know what? Trade Tatum for Durant. Tatum's not a winner. Blah, blah, blah. Like, there's always all these people. Just ignore it. Ignore it. I love Jaylen Brown. I want him to play his entire career with the Celtics because the guy is awesome as a player, and he's awesome as a human being. I know Sean Grandy has said this on the radio. Jaylen Brown at the end will be more famous for things that he'll have done off the court and away from basketball than on the court. And I believe that because that's just the vibe I get. And the other thing, too, the guy is a Celtic, I think, in terms of mentality. All his reactions after the finals, this is a tough day for Boston. This was really tough for the team. We need to get better. He doesn't strike me as this big me guy, which Jason Tatum kind of does. So I want Jaylen Brown to stick around for a long time. I wanted to go back and peek at his likes. He may have unliked that tweet, dude.
Oh, really?
I don't see it here anymore. Oh, nope, it's still there. I missed it. It was right at the top. He liked a USA track and field thing. But yeah, that tweet is still there. From Bantonio Clown.
Antonio Clown.
Uh,
How many followers does that guy have?
2,501.
There you go. Jaylen Brown found it, though.
Somehow. He didn't even at him. He just wrote it.
How did he find that tweet? That's how. Let's solve this right now. How did he find that?
He was punching his own name into Twitter, which is just never a good thing to do. Just don't. You can't do that. Stay off the Twitter machine. Even though we all love it because it's emoji season now with eyeballs and reading. These guys love it too.
Posting Kevin Durant in a Trailblazers jersey, Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Silly season in the NBA, which is awesome. I will say that.
Yeah, there's really no other offseason
Now,
that I think that compares.
Bantonio Clown or whatever his name is tweeting that Jaylen Brown is disrespected. I don't mind. Like, you want to say what you think, but Jaylen Brown liking it, I don't know how you find that tweet.
So
Maybe it's just trending or something.
Then we've said obviously that we don't think the Celtics should be trading Jaylen Brown. Wouldn't want to see them trade Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is awesome. Do you worry that he liked the tweet? Like we take liking as agreeing.
Okay, I think these guys read into this stuff so much. There was something from Kendrick Perkins earlier in the year that got guys going and all fired up, and then they turn their season. It's just like this is what everybody does now. It's social media. They're glued to everything. This guy sucks. That guy's great. So on and so forth. So yeah, do I think there's part of Jaylen Brown that's like, oh, I can't wait to get the hell out of here in my next contract? Yeah, I do. I think that there is something to that.
In the whole thread of comments on that, somebody's like, Jaylen's great, but his defense just isn't good enough. And somebody responds, if Jaylen's defense upsets you, I have some very unfortunate news to share regarding Bradley Beal. Who, again, is all these talks of the Celtics should trade Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal. Keep Jason Tatum happy. We went over this last week. No.
This is what I don't understand about Celtics fans, though. Everybody wants to trade these guys already. They went to the NBA Finals. They're going into their 24 and 26 season for Jaylen and Jason, respectively. Build around these two. We're not supposed to be trading these guys away. You have a window here with these young guys.
Well, luckily, it's just idiot fans and not ownership or anything else. And all you hope is that people, the players themselves, don't care. I
still don't understand it, though.
I don't understand it either. But that's just...
They almost won the championship. I mean, let's not forget about this.
Yeah.
You can go listen to radio and all these personalities that want to troll and say dumb crap all the time. But the reality is they went to game, 6 of the NBA Finals in their building, which they were in the driver's seat in game 3. I'll still say that. So we're not trading Jason and Jaylen. Let's try to get them help and then go from there because they have a window here with Rob Williams, even Smart. Jason and Jaylen are together. We're not splitting them up because we want to keep one happy 3 years from now. Those two, if they win together, I guarantee you, they will both be happy.
Yeah. No, it's crazy to think you have a team that's like a reserve, a bench, big man, and backup point guard away from being a champion, and fans want to blow it up. I don't get it. I don't understand it either. So Kyrie Irving has spoken.
Right.
Normal people keep the world going, but those who dare to be different lead us into tomorrow. I've made my decision to opt in. See you in the fall.
Thanks, Kyrie.
I don't know if I want to follow Kyrie into tomorrow. What does that tomorrow look like
for Kyrie? Yeah, is he going to want to be traded tomorrow? Whatever.
Who dare to be different lead us into tomorrow. To be on the Lakers.
I don't want to play basketball. That's what makes me different.
I don't want to play basketball,
talking
and
about
I demand a $37 million contract. That's how I'm
I
different.
just don't like the way he like parades around like he's like splitting the atom and like doing something nuts here. He's just like he's opting into a contract that he had originally agreed to. Is he not?
Yeah.
For $30 million or 37. Whatever.
Because I want to avoid the rabbit hole of it and for future shows, until or unless Kyrie Irving is actually traded and more nonsense begins with him, goodbye to Kyrie. To the ball locker, Kyrie Irving. It's been long overdue. Had to happen. So,
No argument for me.
we do have to now give a minute or two, and release something. They have earned it. They are coming out of the ball locker. So let's open her on up and bring out the Boston Red Sox, who have won 7 in a row.
7 in a row.
8-2 in their last 10.
Don't
They
look
have
now. They are in second place.
second place, 10.5 games back of the Yankees.
Yeah, but so is everybody else. Come on now.
Is
You're
this
so negative?
is
Why are you
this
so negative all the time?
Christian, I am positive and I find the good in everything except the Red Sox. I am what you are for everything else. I am for baseball.
But you can't just say like they're 11 games back. They've won 8 out of their last 10. They've come out of nowhere to be in second place.
So, okay. So do you think that this is some sort of, has the energy shifted? Are the Red Sox going to work their way up here and go on a tear and be the number 2 seed in the league? Or is this just a very small sample size and they will...
A very small sample size. Like 40 games is a small sample size in the MLB. They were like 3-10 and you said they're done. And now they've won like 40 in a row and you're just like, they still suck. So I'm not even taking the bait on this.
Are fine. We won't even sample size be damned. Are they for real with what they have accomplished here, or is it some sort of fool's gold? Are they better than any of the division leading teams right now? That's what really matters.
Better? No, but they're closer than they were early on in the season for sure. I mean, I think the Yankees are probably better than the Red Sox. I don't think that's like that hot of a take. But I do think the Red Sox are closer than 10.5, 11 games back. I think they're closer than that, but I don't think they're on the Yankees level if the Yankees play up to their potential. Could they collapse? I think absolutely any of these teams could. But I would put them in a playoff series and have them winning a playoff series for sure.
Okay.
If they're getting what they're getting out of their starting pitching right now, and I think Devers is just ridiculous. I mean, he leads the league, I think, at least the AL in hits, if I'm not mistaken. He's just ridiculous. And also Nick is right. The energy did shift when Alex Cora shaved his beard.
It can have a powerful effect. I was gonna say the guy that has impressed me the most has been Nick Pivetta. That's the guy that has been.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Michael Wacha.
No,
Michael Wacha's been really good.
it's close for me. I don't know. I guess I just didn't. I expected less out of Pivetta, so maybe that's how that's in my head. Is that I just expected so much less. So for him to be playing as well as he's been, has been more impressive for me.
Michael Wacha's 6-1 though.
Yeah, but that he had that in him too.
2.34 ERA. Yeah, not at 34 years old or whatever the hell he is. He's coming off like Tampa Rays year where he was like, meh.
I guess I didn't realize he's that old. 34?
Let me check.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 30. Okay.
Okay, exactly. So there we go.
Hey, I will say this though. There's a reason he was on the street for a 1-year deal. I mean, it's not like he was the St. Louis Cardinals early Michael Wacha.
Well, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like he has had you know, I guess I can't say he's had the juice in him. That doesn't work well to say that in baseball.
When he's been right, though, when he has been right, he has ridiculous stuff. I mean, when he's on.
Nick also says the Red Sox are doing this all without Whitlock, Evaldi, Sale, and James Paxton. Kike is hurt for now, and they're just getting started. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't
know about just getting started, but I won't go that far. But I don't think they're going to win the World Series. But I think they're a pretty good team. I think they should be in the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, it's a fail. And Chaim Bloom should be ashamed of himself if they don't make the playoffs.
No, he's going to get a multi-year extension.
They're
going to fire. They'll fire Cora, and he'll get a multi-year extension.
I'll stop following the Red Sox as soon as they say we're not going to sign Rafael Devers. If Rafael Devers is not here next year, I think the Red Sox should never get another player with a max contract. That's what I think.
Well,
so $300 million, they should never have another player on the roster.
This has been my thing, though. Would it surprise you?
No.
If they but not sign him. Trade him at this deadline.
Oh yes, it would. Yes.
See, honestly, it wouldn't shock me.
They're not trading him at this deadline.
You 0.0% chance. There's a percentage chance there that they do.
Anything can happen, as Kevin Garnett once said. But I would say, or anything is possible. I would say, there is a very slim chance, unless they're way out of it. Then I could see it. But if they're in it and he's in the mix like he is right now, there's absolutely no chance they trade him. And if they do, it's going to be for like a prospect you've never heard of and two up-and-coming guys and maybe a ball player like the Mookie Betts deal. And I just disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Then why haven't they given him a contract yet? Because why wait till the fall or winter?
This is what they do now. This is what the Chaim Bloom era is.
Bad for business. Bad for business.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
I'm not going to feel good about the Red Sox, Christian, until Rafael Devers has a contract extension.
I think Bogarts and Devers should be here next year, whether Story is or not. Like, if they never sign Story, they should have those two. Yes, 100%. I agree with Colin. No Devers, permanent ball locker for the Red Sox. 100%. The guy's batting like .334. He leads the league in hits. He's going to make a boatload of money. And the Red Sox, it's not like they have no money. Look at their ownership group and what they've done over the years. This is a guy you pay for 100%. He's improved on defense as well. He's not as bad as you think. And his offense is in the top 10 in the league. I mean, he's just ridiculous.
What we really thought is when you look historically at players
25
who get these 10 or 12-year contracts,
Little Poppy,
in the long term, they really never bear out at the latter half of those deals. So we aggressively offered a 6 or 7-year contract, and Rafael turned down good money in that term. So that is why we had to make the tough decision to let him go to market. That's what it's going to come down to. He's going to want a 10-year deal. They're going to offer him like 6, and he's going to say no.
I tell you what.
Money will be probably exactly the same, but they will not offer. The Red Sox will not give him one of these 10-year deals. It won't happen.
Well, maybe not. But if they let Mookie Betts go and Bogarts go and Devers go, you're letting all these guys go for Alex Verdugo and Trevor Story.
You become the Boston Bruins.
I do not. No, you become the Tampa Bay Rays, like full on, full out. Chaim Bloom has come here to turn you into the Boston Rays.
Yeah.
And that Ray is going to get stepped on by the Boston Bruins ice skate.
Nick says Devers should win MVP. They could lose Devers and Bogarts next year. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. I'm with you. I think that Devers and Bogarts should both be on this team. I think if you want to win a World Series, I think Bogarts would be a part of that, and should be. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Story is batting like 100 points below Xander Bogaerts, but that's the next guy, right? I was told Trevor Story was like the next best thing. He's batting 227.
Which is better than where he started.
True. I mean, it couldn't get much worse, though.
He's only just getting started, Christian.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Xander Bogaerts has been here his whole career. He's a big piece of the nucleus of this team. And if Bogaerts leaves, I don't know if Devers wants to sign here anyway.
Exactly. What message are you sending? Sure, I'll sign your 8-year contract for you to what? Never invest in the team again because of it?
They're gonna watch. They're gonna let all these guys go, and then the team's gonna suck, and you're gonna be like, "Well, they suck because there's no talent." And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna fire the coach.
That's what I just said. You're going to become the Boston Bruins.
Pretty much.
You're going to
Cora's gonna be
fire
fired
Alex
next
Cora.
year.
Even though Cora, like, if they do, like, make a run this year, if they make the playoffs, win a round, make an ALCS, like, just sign Cora to a lifetime contract, like, now. Like, the dude does find a way to work magic. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, he's for whatever reason, like, and also there is something to be said for a guy like Alex Cora connecting with the Dominican Republic players. I mean, that has been one of his calling cards here since he's been here as a head coach, and even in Houston. So there is something to be said for that. He does know how to get the most out of the players, and I don't think that can be overlooked, especially with guys like Bogarts, Devers, who have been here. Bogarts, notably number one, he is the quote unquote captain without being the captain of the team. He is that guy. He's been here the longest. So it's just a weird thing that you would want to lose both those guys. Then who knows where you go from there.
yeah. One last baseball thing before we sign off here for the night. Did you see this brawl today?
Yes.
Or last night? Yesterday?
Last night, yeah.
Angels and Mariners, right? I've never
Been
seen
a long time since we've seen one of those.
Well, I've never seen one where a guy, the batter, charges the opposing dugout.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was weird.
Usually you see, like, the batter gets plunked and he, like, charges the mound. And then everybody comes in from the, the benches have cleared. No, like, one bench didn't have to clear because the fight was in their bench.
Yeah, but then you got like, you're gonna charge the pitcher, give him a look, and then Joe Schmo on the bench, who never has played a game in his life, is sitting in the dugout. And he says, "You suck," and then you run over there and start hitting people. Yeah.
Oh, I get it, but I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, no, and it's been a long time since we've seen like an actual fight like that.
Yeah. A lot of people, 8 ejections out of that game.
Good for baseball.
Honestly, though,
Nobody got hurt. It's good for baseball.
yeah, no joke. I think it is.
People start getting hurt, then you go a different direction. But nobody's getting hurt.
Guy's taking the bat and clubbing
Yeah.
someone over the
I'm
head.
not doing that. But I think it might have been the same game. Someone threw sunflower seeds on the field. You see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Let me try.
Guys were going nuts yesterday. I don't know what the hell was happening. But hey, you know what? The NHL season ended, so here we go. We got baseball brawls and sunflower seeds spilling on the field. I think it was a player, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just gonna put in sunflower seeds. Oh yeah, yeah. In that game, is it a player? Is it Winker? He's flicking off the crowd. I don't know what else happened. Let me see.
I don't know. That game was wild.
Oh yeah, Angels pitcher Rafael Iglesias hurls sunflower seeds at Mariners after wild brawl. It's like a bucket.
Oh yeah, no, it's like a full basket of. I think they're unopened. If they're open, that's kind of a waste. Can't waste the seeds like that.
I guess we'll share this really quick for our live viewers. For those tuning in here, look at that. Just hucking a big old bucket of sunflower seeds.
Unnecessary. That's a lot of seeds there, dude. Can't do that to the seeds.
Now that could actually hurt somebody.
Yeah, nobody was on the field though.
That's what I'm saying. Like if that got thrown at somebody, that could actually.
That's kind of a baity headline because there was literally an empty field and you just chucked sunflower seeds on it.
Yeah. Quick thought, Christian. I know we spoke kind of at length about this last week. This will be our last thing here before we sign off. Actually, the NFL basically leaked that they want to suspend Deshaun Watson for a year. Tomorrow he has a hearing with like a special investigator and all this stuff. We both think that, we thought like, hey, he should get a year suspension. And the NFL will like knock it down to like 6 or 8. Is it weird that the NFL themselves, that like their preference is to suspend the guy for a year, that's out there already? And does that bode well for him at all? I think now, like, the odds of him playing obviously a full season are at 0, and this dude may not play for an entire year. I think.
2 years. 2 years in a row. Yeah, but in terms of suspension, yeah. I mean, I'm a little surprised the NFL would go that route instead of like half of a season and what I said last week, which is like, well, he was kind of gone for a year, so like he was basically suspended for a year and a half. To go a full year, I don't disagree with it. I think he needs to sit, and the Browns are, complicit in their own demise. So whatever. But I think he should be suspended. So I'm a little surprised the NFL is going that route or leaking that they're going that route. Whether they actually do, I still don't believe. But should it happen, in my eyes, yeah. I mean, he's got to be suspended.
Yeah, the leak said that the NFL wanted the public to know what it had pushed for, a minimum suspension of 1 year. Minimum. That was their recommendation to this independent arbitrator.
Yeah. I mean, the way things are going and the way we're like, you want to go all the way back to the Ray Rice thing and Adrian Peterson with his child. Like, they didn't get enough of a suspension back then. You think the NFL want to deal with that now? I mean, I can't imagine they want the hassle of...
Not when there's like 26 people who have come forward.
It would also be like, I feel like not suspending them would just invite all that. And deservedly so on them.
And you know what? This is a little bit of the NFL being smart here. Suspend the guy for the year and let it go away and be done with. Because you know what happens if you don't? Which has already happened a little bit. People on the outside who just want to open up inquiries into these things, Congress and represent.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They start, just the way like Dan Snyder now has been brought, there's like an official investigation into him as an owner. They might start pecking at the Houston Texans. The Texans have been like subpoenaed in one of these lawsuits because somebody's alleging that they were complicit in covering up or helping to support Deshaun Watson's behavior. Like, the NFL doesn't want a team getting picked apart like that. So if they can just suspend the player and be done with it, they don't care if Deshaun Watson sits for a whole year.
No,
they'd rather care about
protecting the shield.
Protecting the shield. Colin says that the Browns are so incredibly screwed. Yes, they are. Baker Mayfield ain't going to help them out. You can't trade Baker Mayfield. They have no options. No options whatsoever. So you got Baker Mayfield making about $23 million. You get Deshaun Watson, who's going to be making, close to 30. And then they had to sign Jacoby Brissett, who is probably going to have to be their starter for the year. And they have no money to do anything else.
Haha.
Oh, well. Browns are going to brown, right?
Beat yourself. Yeah.
So, all right. That is going to do it for the show here tonight. Thank you for our live listeners for tuning in here on a Monday night. We are live every Monday or Tuesday. Stick to the social media. If you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all those lovely places, TikTok, you will get the updates with when we schedule our shows for the live shows. And thank you as well. If you missed the show, you can always catch us as a podcast. We have many podcast listeners through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcasts from. And if you want to engage with us and you're a podcast listener, send us an email, the360sportshow@gmail.com. So for Christian Lauber, I'm Andrew Pizzelli. Have a good night, everybody.
See you later.